especially like you have guys like I was in for 8 years and some change, but you have guys getting out at like that are retiring at like 20 years. And I know that's a whole different like TRS or whatever, but
Yeah.
guys that are getting out after 12 years, after 18 years, like whatever, like it's like, dude, I don't know anything about getting out. Like, but then it's just like it's a check in the box. Simply put, it was a check in the box process, and I learned a little bit. Like I learned how to write a resume.
Yeah, yeah, I
That
know.
was it. The only thing
Resume.
I learned. And I learned how to efficiently clean sift gear when I was checking out.
Yeah, yes.
That was like the dark cloud looming over everyone's head was the sift turning.
Yeah,
But
that's the only thing I really gave a shit about was making sure my gear turning was fine. So I
everything
didn't.
else was just like, "We sign this, please. I'm getting out."
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I definitely felt like no one, like once like you got out, not a lot of people get about you.
No.
And I get it. Like the Marine Corps must move on, and that's cool. Like the Marine Corps survived before me, and they're gonna survive after me.
Right.
But there needs to be more attention focused to guys that are getting out because it is a scary thing, and I think it stems from the ignorance of the leadership,
Yeah.
not in a negative sense, but they just have never gotten out of the Marine Corps.
Right.
They don't know what that thought process is like. A lot of guys that are like gunnery sergeants, staff sergeants, they've never had a thought about getting out of the Marine Corps, like a true thought. Like everyone jokes around like I'm getting out.
Yeah.
They never sat down and had a true desire to get out. So they don't know what the mindset is, and it's how scary it is. So I think there needs. I don't know the solution, but there definitely needs to be a better solution for the out process because it was not good, man. It was.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And this has been a great conversation. This is exactly what I wanted to roll into. We had a great conversation about how guys are struggling, afterwards, and like I kind of had opposite. Like when I joined the Marine Corps, I only wanted to do my first enlistment and get out for whatever reason. Like I always, like my path was always going to be military. Like I had a long lineage of family in the military. My brother went in the Marines as soon as I was going through high school. So seeing him graduate boot camp and all that stuff, like I knew I was going to be a Marine no matter what. I actually ended up getting hurt my senior year. I broke my shoulder blade, so that kind of threw me in for the loop. And then I got a job at a gun range and started working there and fell in love with that. So I did that for 3 years. But I finally, at 20 years old, was able to go in the Marine Corps. But I always knew from day one, it's like I'm just going to do my time, get a few deployments in, and get out. So from day one, I always knew that. And as I was getting close to getting out, like my plans were set. Like I knew exactly what was going to happen, how it was going to happen, and everything was going to be okay because this is what I wanted. I did my time, get out of the Marine Corps, done. But the crazy thing is like it was not easy. It was not easy at all. It was extremely difficult, and I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't prepared for it at all. And I look back and, like you said, like it was just a check in the box. Like, hey, I'm just checking in. That's all you'd have to say. And you had the day off and do whatever you want and get your 2 signatures for the day. But as soon as you drive off that base, that's it. You're done. You are cut off. You might have a few paychecks, but as soon as that last dollar amount hits, like that's it. Then you enter the exact same level that everybody else is in the civilian workplace and starting school and all this stuff. And I had no how to do any of it.
Yeah.
Like I had a resume in my hand, I had my sea bags in my car, and I was driving home. I was going to see my wife, I was going to see my kid. Everything was going to be kosher, and it wasn't. And I was like, God, what do I do? But I didn't seek help. I didn't do anything. I just tried to manage it all myself. And that's when the drinking started. That's when I started self-medicating to handle everything, and dealing with a back injury and working with the VA, which is another go. Like everything just started falling apart. And that's where after everything that happened, talking to you, talking to everybody, like I've had this conversation with several people. So there's something consistent. There's a trend here that it's not easy getting out. There's resources out there, but I think the biggest issue is we don't know what those resources are, how to utilize those resources, and the fact that our brothers and sisters are going through the exact same thing.
Hmm.
and we need to be there for each other. And that's the whole purpose of this. It's the whole purpose of me sitting down talking to you. This is the longest conversation we've ever had,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and it's probably one of the best conversations I had in my lifetime, because this is, I think this is the conversation we need to start having amongst ourselves. And I've had it with a few close friends of mine, but when you said you were up for this recording, I was like, Higgs, like, I can't think of a more standout guy from Suicide than Higgs. And there's a few other standout guys that are going to be willing to do this, but this is exactly what I think the guys need to see. And if I can start with just Suicide alone, and then we can branch this off, I think we really have something here. But I mean, I'm lost for words, because you hit like all the notes. For some reason, like we didn't plan this really. We, you
Yeah,
know,
it is about as the most winging you could do with anything. Like we just kind of we shot from the hip with this whole thing.
yeah.
Just
And for some reason, like it's just like we get in a rhythm,
and
just
I think
hitting.
like not to cut you off,
No,
sorry,
yeah, dude.
but no, like we were talking about earlier, like this is a conversation like that we need to start having. Like all the veteran websites and like the content that's hilarious. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
I laugh at it just as much as everyone, like the next guy, but like it's time to start having the like serious conversations, like grab my nuts and be like, I'm gonna have some humility right now, and like I'm not doing very well, kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
or I've struggled with this, and this, or whatever the case is. Like, because like everyone, like you said, it's a consistent across the board. Like, people are struggling, and it breaks my heart, man. Like, and not everyone, faces the same thing,
no,
too. So it's like everyone struggles in their own way, but they need, like, guys need to know it's okay to like talk about it. Like the whole I'm a hard, I need to like be okay. Like it's okay to not be okay, and
yeah.
that's
That number one.
it's very normal to not be okay. And I think more guys and girls need to know that in the veteran community, like it's okay to struggle. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, I think what you're doing is awesome, man. That's why when I saw you asking for people to sit down and talk with you, I was like, dude, let's do this, because I'm like huge on this whole taking care of each other, because if we don't take care of each other, man, like no one else is gonna take care of us, and I truly believe that. So it's great, dude.
Yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, I'm almost in tears, and like that's the humility part. Like this. Sorry.
No, you're kidding, man.
Like, this is who I wanted to be in the Marines. Like, we as individuals need to step up and start being the leaders we were in the Marine Corps, and start reaching out and making sure our boys and our girls who served with us are good. Because I was not in a good place, man. And I didn't have it that rough. I didn't. Like, you heard about our Afghan deployment. It wasn't bad, dude. But it was still incredibly tough in my out process, and trying to process everything. And like, after all that happened, and like some of the guys, I would be terrified to say, hey man, I'm struggling too, because I didn't want them to see me in a different light or think of me in a different way. They're like, dude, you're fine. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm here. You need to talk to me. Talk to me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that was the most humbling experience. And that's why I want everybody to see this experience of me being humbled and crying. I'm such a man.
Nah, dude, don't. Dude, I've cried more since I've been out of the Marine Corps than I've had in my whole lifetime. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's good, man. It's healthy. Like, it's not okay to be okay all the time. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, and it's okay to voice that. It's okay to come forward and
Yeah.
say, look, man, I'm struggling. You're not a, like, you're just saying, look, I'm struggling with this. And somebody can be like, oh, yo, I went through the exact same thing. What are you doing? What are you doing proactively? And that's why I started this conversation with you, like, on a positive note, saying, I'm starting from square one. I'm starting with, this crazy idea to start a website, to share this content, and to share, my feelings and other feelings of those who served with me. And and put it out on the world to see if people can get a hold of that and see if I can start, making some light bulbs go off and really join this thing. So yeah, this is my first one, man. This is my first one, and I hope I get to do this, and I hope I don't start bawling every time.
That's cool, man.
But this has been amazing, dude, and I can't tell you enough in words and expression like how much I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And like I said, you just hit so many notes that have been going through my head, and I know have been going through other people's heads, and I hope they see this, and I hope they learn something from it. Over time, hopefully this thing gets better. But I definitely see myself down the road having you back on if you'd like.
Oh, absolutely, man. Anytime you can talk to a bro that that you serve with, and like you said, like this is the longest conversation we've ever had. We would play armory, or I like ask you a random question.
Yeah, just to
Like,
pass time, basically.
yeah, but this is it, man. This is what it's all about. Like this is like taking care of each other and like just bullshit. Uh, just like having that common ground to like just sit and chat and like enjoy. Like yeah, like having this conversation is like therapeutic for me, man.
Yeah,
I'm like rejuvenated. I'm like ready to start the school week, and because like school's lonely for me, man. Honestly,
I hate it. I hate it.
like you get like onesies and twosies veterans that you like see and like you kind of connect with. Sometimes it's not, and that's another thing too. Like I had this false reality, like I'll just find the other veterans and we'll stick together. And but sometimes you just don't have things in common with just because they're like the only thing you have in common is you're a veteran. That's it, and it's
Yeah.
like just like aren't we're not gonna mesh. Sorry.
No.
So it's lonely. So having like this conversation, it's like really refreshing and rejuvenating. So I'll do. But anytime you want to like just bullshit chat, I'd be more than happy to come back on, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go ahead and hit stop recording right now.